Hello guys, welcome to CodeBlitz. So today we are going to find the minimum and the maximum element from the given array. The given array, the elements of the array are 32, 22, 10, 5, 55, and the upper side are the indexes of the array. We know that the array index starts from the 0. Now if we say that what is length of the array, the length of the array is 5. Okay, now we want to calculate what is minimum and the maximum element of the given array. So if we look at the array, the minimum element in the given array is basically, we can say, 5. Okay, and the maximum element of the given array is 55. So the thing is how we will code this. So basically, before coding, now let us understand what is the logic behind this, and then we will see the code, and then I will show you the dry run so that you will understand each and every step. So first of all, we have to what we will do is we will assume this element which is at index 0 as minimum element as well as maximum element, and then we will compare all the elements with the minimum and maximum element, and will accordingly go on changing the minimum and maximum values. So first of all, at the initial stage, I will say the minimum will be 0 as well as maximum will be 0. Okay, now this 0 indicates the index of the element. Now what we will do is, in the first iteration we will compare this 22 with we will compare the 22, that is element which is present at this index, that is index 1, with the element with the minimum and the maximum element. So if we compare 22 with 32 for the minimum element, what we will find that 22 is minimum. Now comparison these two, we find 22 is minimum, therefore we will say that 22 is minimum, therefore we will update the index of minimum to 1. Out of these two, the minimum element is present at index 1, therefore we will update this minimum index. Now similarly we will check for the maximum, that is we will compare this 22 with the maximum. Now this maximum is present at index 0, and index 0 is having element 32. Therefore 22 and 32, if we compare, we found that 32 is maximum and the index of the 32 is 0, therefore it will remain as it is. Now we will come to this index 2. Okay, now for index 2 we will compare this element which is present at index 2, that is this 10, with the first with the minimum. So the minimum element is present at index 1, so 22 and 1, we will compare these two for the minimum. So 10 and 22, the minimum is 10, therefore we will again update the index to 2. We can see that the element which is having index 2 is 10, is the minimum element. Okay, now for the maximum we will again compare. So for maximum we will compare this element, that is 10, with the maximum. Now this maximum is present at index 0, so we will compare this. Okay, let me change the color. Okay, so we will compare these two. Okay, 10 and 32. So 10 and 32 comparison, we will find that 32 is bigger, therefore we will not change the index of this maximum element. Again we will come to this. Okay, so now we will check whether the 5 is greater than this minimum, less than this minimum. So the 2 is having 10, index 2 is having 10, and 3 is having 5. So if we compare, we find that 5 is smaller, therefore we will again update the index to 3. And for the maximum we will check 5, and the maximum index value is 0, therefore we will compare this 5 and 32, therefore we will find that 32 is bigger, therefore 0 will remain as it is. Similarly for index 4, now for index 4 we will compare this value 55 with the minimum index. Now minimum index is present at minimum value is present at index 3. Okay, so we will compare these two, and after comparison we found that 5 is the minimum, therefore we will keep the index 3 as it is. Now we will compare for this 55 with the maximum. Now the maximum index is basically 32, so if we compare these two, Therefore we found that 55 is bigger than this 0. Okay, that 0 index element. So we will update this 0 to 0 index to 4. Therefore now if we want to just print, we can just print array of this mean. Okay, array of mean. Now what will be this array of mean? That mean is nothing but we are having 3. So array of the 3 will be equal to 5. Therefore this is our minimum value. Similarly, array of our max, that max is 4. So 4, that is we can say 55. So this is our maximum value. So this is basically logic behind it. Now let's see the code. Okay, okay guys, so this is the code. Now first of all we are declaring the array. Okay, just a second. Okay, so first of all we are declaring an array. These are elements of the array. Okay, now as I had told you that we have to first assume that the first element as minimum and maximum. Okay, so this first index element we had assumed minimum and maximum, that is as index 0. So similarly what I have done in code, we have initialized this mean and max, and then we have first declare the variable mean and max, and then here we have initialized mean and max as index 0. Now what we will do is we need to traverse the array. Okay, so for traversing the array, so what we are doing is we are comparing this element. In first iteration we will compare this and this. Therefore we don't need to start the array from the index 0, because we are comparing the things, and already it is present at index element is present as index 0. Therefore we will just compare the element from 1 to 0, and then from 2 to the minimum maximum, and then from 3 to minimum maximum element. Okay, so we are starting our for loop from index 1. Okay, so we are starting for loop from index 1. It will run till our last index. This is it will run till our last index and I plus plus. Now what we have done is that first we had checked for the minimum element, that we had done two comparisons. First we have compared whether this a current element is minimum than the minimum element. So for that, this is the code. Okay, so if array of I means our current element, if our current element, okay, so our current element is less than equal to our mean element. If this is the case, it means that our mean element is greater than our current element. If this mean element is greater, therefore it should not be minimum element. Therefore our current element is less than mean element. Therefore our current element will be the mean element. In this case, we will just make our we will just change the index, that is mean equal to I, that is current index. As we have seen here, we kept on changing the index as our minimum element was changing. Okay, now same is with the maximum element. Now once we are comparing for minimum, and now here we are comparing it for the maximum element. Okay, so if our current element is greater than equal to the max element, therefore it means that our current element is greater than the maximum element. If the current element is greater than the maximum element, it means our current element is the max element. Therefore we will just change the index. Okay, and this same step we will go on repeating till the array is not ended, and at last we will get the index of the minimum and the maximum element. And here we are just printing this array mean and array max, that is minimum and maximum element. Okay, now for better understanding, I have dry run the code. I will provide that note in the description, as well as this code will be provided in the description. Please access the code. Now let's see the notes for the dry run. Okay, so basically this is the dry run. Now consider this array. This is 0 1 2 3 4 are indexes, and this is the element. Now at first iteration, what I had told you, that minimum and the maximum, at the very initial we assumed that the first element, that is 32, is minimum element as well as maximum element. Now in the iteration 1, I told you that we will start comparing from this first element. Okay, so this first element is compared with the minimum and the maximum element. Okay, so I equal to 1. Now 1 is less than equal to 5, that is, we can say condition is satisfied. Now here minimum and maximum equal to 0. Now we are comparing array of I is less than equal to array of max. You can see this in our code. Okay, now this array of I is less than equal to array of max. Okay, you can array of I is less than equal to array of max. I is equal to 1, therefore we have written array of 1 is less than equal to array of max. Now max is 0, so array of 1 less than equal to array of 0. Array of 1 value is 22 is less than equal to 32. Now condition is not satisfied, therefore we will not update our max value, therefore max remains as it is. Okay, now the next thing is we will compare it for the minimum value. So array of I, so this is basically array of I is less than equal to array of our mean. You can check the code. Now array of I, so value of I is equal to 1, therefore 22 is less than equal to array of 0. Array of 0 array of 0 is basically for 0 stands 0 is for the mean value, 0 is mean index. So 22 is less than equal to 32. Condition satisfied, it means that our this current element, this is our current element is less than the minimum element, therefore we need to update our minimum element. Therefore now our new minimum element will be present at index 1. So you can see out of this we are comparing these two, so mean element is present at index 1, so that is we will update our mean to 1. Okay, now the next thing is for the iteration 2. Now the same process continues. We are again comparing this array of 2 with the array of max. Now still the max is equal to 1. We had just updated the mean, that was 1. So after comparison, array of 2 is 10 less than equal to 32, condition not satisfied. Okay, now in this case array of 2 is less than equal to array of mean. Now you can see that 10 is less than equal to 22, therefore here condition satisfied. Condition satisfied means our this current element, that is 10, is less than our mean element. Okay, so the mean we need to change our mean value. Okay, and so mean value index will be 2. Now you can check for the other iterations, and if you have any doubt you can comment me, and if you understand the concept, then please do it like button, share with your friends. Thank you.